Hey yo, what's up everybody, it's JJ. Today we're coming back with a video talking about what is TradeFi and CeFi. So this kind of terminology you must have heard it if you're in the crypto space, and of course we're gonna explain to you how do they make money, and after that how much percentage they're offering, and of course what is the worst case that can happen if you're gonna put your money with CeFi or TradeFi. So over here, disclaimer itself, these are the platform that I've personally used before, and after that I would say this over here is on my GitHub itself, the README page. Over here you can just head over to bit.ly/support SC Crypto, and after that which is linked down below, and after that from there you can see all of the links to whatever products that I have used before, and of course have an affiliate program with them. And of course I would say this over here is to help the channel out. Definitely you do not get you do not pay more or pay less or whatsoever. You basically, some of them they basically will give you bonuses when you sign up, like over here Haru Invest is giving you a 0.2%, and but so on and so forth. So I would say, disclaimer itself, this is all affiliate programs, not sponsored video whatsoever. In this video itself, I would say disclaimer itself, only invest in what you can afford to lose, and of course never invest in more than you can afford, and of course especially do not go and take up loans or whatsoever to basically throw your whole life savings into it, because shit can happen. And after that we're gonna explain to you what is the terminology, what is TradeFi/CeFi or CeFi. So over here, the first word of the day basically is TradeFi. What is TradeFi? Basically, it's a traditional finance, basically centralized institute-based entity such as banks and stockbrokers. The TradeFi terms evolve in order to basically join the crypto space. So over here you can see that this over here, they are basically institution money that is basically using their funds put together to play into the decentralized finance space, like the Web3. Like you want to talk about your farming, your liquidity farming or whatsoever, yielding on the blockchain itself, like Ethereum, or let's say a 1inch exchange. And after that some of the some of the decentralized exchange, basically over there they use the money to basically invest into that, and after that from there pay out in their investment. So the next word is CeFi itself. So over here the centralized finance is basically the same thing. So here you can see all crypto trades are handled through a centralized exchange. Basically over here, this over here is talking about centralized institutions such as bank and stockbroker. So over here this is the Web 2 coming to the Web 3. So over here this is the Web 3 going towards the Web 3 again. So I would say these are all the centralized exchanges like your Binance, your KuCoin, CX, or whatever exchange. They basically use the funds that is being given to them. They basically handle it through a centralized exchange to basically manage your funds through the DeFi, decentralized finance ecosystem, or Ethereum, or whatever chain that is with a smart contract. So over here, how do they actually make money off of all of these kind of decentralized funds? So how do they actually make money? Basically, first of all, people pass their money, basically acting like a bank, to basically loan out your funds in the yield farming field that we call it the DeFi, the decentralized finance field itself. Basically, they use the DX. Basically, it's the decentralized finance which is built on Ethereum or on other smart contract platform. They basically have this thing called a liquidity provider, and of course for the exchange to work there must be liquidity. So what they are doing is basically pumping whatever assets they have to basically put into this liquidity pool on the decentralized exchange to basically let this thing roll, and after that eventually every time there's a trade that is ongoing, they get a cut of the percentage towards their, depending on how much you put in. So if let's say you put in that the pool of this funds itself, example, is $10 million inside. Basically, if let's say CeFi like Binance itself, they can put in half of whatever it is, basically another 5 million. So to total, there's gonna be like 15 million in the pool itself, and after that, Binance owns around 33% of the pool. So over here, whatever fees that's being accumulated, basically 33% will go back to the fund holders, whoever put in more liquidity. So basically over here, this is a game for the big boys. So if you want to go into DeFi or yield farming itself, I would say that if you have lots of funds itself, definitely your ROI will be faster, and of course you can make more money through this kind of yield farming. And after that, I would say that this is not only one of the strategy that they go for. Basically, liquidity provider is one of the thoughts that how do they make money, and secondly, they can do like arbitrage trading on the decentralized exchange. Basically, they can find significant pairs, like maybe on 1inch itself is offering maybe one Bitcoin to $50,000, and after that eventually on another decentralized exchange, like I do not know which one, but there's too many. Basically it's another decentralized exchange they use, and after that eventually the liquidity over there is not as balanced as you see on 1 inch. Basically you're getting buying on 1 inch for more expensive price 50k, and another exchange itself is only offering at 49.5k, for example. So they use this strategy to basically arbitrage trade on across of all of these decentralized exchange, and after that from there make some profits. And of course on top of that you can basically buy tokens, and after that those stabilized enough token like the decentralized DX exchange tokens, you can basically put it in, and after that from there gain voting powers to basically path the DAO itself. Basically the DAO itself is a decentralized organization for the blockchain ecosystem, and after that from there you can path it towards your favor or whatsoever if let's say you hold a majority of the shares, I mean the token itself. So it's acting something like a Web2, but it is owned by the community. So over here you can basically see this is how they make money, and of course over here on top of that they can make money through all this yield farming, and after that providing liquidity, and of course there's like staking of your one token to basically get a percentage. And of course whatever they do itself, there's a strategy, there's a team behind it who understand what is DeFi, and after that who understand how does this whole decentralized exchange thing work before they can basically jump into this wagon to provide you with all those services. And right now the money they are making, and after that how much they are actually offering it to you. So we have how much they are offering to you depending on which platform they are on. On Haru Invest, they are offering as high as 19.3, and of course on this Hodlnut itself, they are also offering like up to 9.41 depending on what asset you put in. On BlockFi itself, they are offering as high as 15% on of course whichever assets you put in, and on Nexo itself, we can see they also offer quite an interest rate, which is I mean like there's a lot of interest rate, 18% if you're earning in their tokens. So over here, this is the catch. Some of the Tradfi/CeFi itself, they tell you that you can earn this amount, but of course if you earn in our token, you will earn additional tokens, I mean like additional percentage. And after that on Celsius itself, they also offer the rates itself, which is slightly high, up to 17%, and of course in their token. And of course on Midas investment, they have a variety of coins that you can choose from, and of course you can earn as high as almost 15% from the products that they offer. And of course you can see they are basically telling you what type of products that you are on, and after that on exchanges they also have it, but of course on the exchanges itself they are offering a much lower rates itself that I would say. And after that there's mostly like a lockup period and something like that. And of course over here that the percentage they are giving you, I would say, is quite decent, but of course on top of that they are making definitely slightly more than what you can expect over here. I mean like they are definitely offering you 40%. Why? Because they are making like 60 or even 80%. To be honest, you will never truly know. And after that over here, this basically telling you that you pay no fees, no annual fee for basically joining the hedge fund in the decentralized finance space. And after that from there, basically this is like a win-win situation. And of course I would say regardless of what you put your money in, and of course what could the worst thing that can happen. So over here, what's the worst thing that can happen is basically one, you can't withdraw your funds technically, because over here you have to know that these are all centralized entity. Basically they hold the private keys for you, and after that from there you will need to basically, if you want to cash out or something, you need to withdraw it to the exchange to sell it. So over here the recent one is basically Celsius. They are basically due to the market extreme conditions. So why does this even happen? Because they are in the DeFi space so much. Basically they can make money through loans, and after that from there they borrow funds from the decentralized entity, and after that from there, yeah, basically shit happen, liquidation hits, and after that from there they lose a lot of money. And of course basically if let's say the whole exchange itself has 100 Ethereum for example, and they use almost 90% of the funds to basically trade and generate some income, eventually if let's say a condition like that, the bear market hits, and after that I would say everything is gonna go haywire, and after that from there they get liquidated. So their 10,000 of this Ethereum is no longer there. Basically let's say 90% is invested, then they lost half of it. So technically they have only how much 50 around 25 of 25k worth of Ethereum left. And after that from there, if let's say a whale or majority of the people in the platform decided to cash out / withdraw their funds, they would not have enough to pay everybody out. So this is the one of the very extreme cases that we can see right now on the bear market. And after that, eventually I would say this happen from time to time depending on what kind of situation we are in. Even though it's in the bear market, I mean in the bull market, shit like this can happen because basically first of all over collateralizing, and after that from there using too much of funds they are supposed to do, and after that from there, another thing is basically offering a higher percentage than their competitor, but of course unable to fulfill the percentage. I mean, they can fulfill it to you basically every day you're earning this amount, but of course eventually on the back end you will never truly know what they are doing, and of course they do not release too much information, because if let's say they are releasing too much information for you, you can basically just do it on your own and you would not need them anymore. And after that, I would say this is one of the worst case scenario that can happen. You can't get back your money. So that's why I said in the start of the video, only invest in what you can afford to lose and never take a loan for this type of project, even though they're offering like high rates, better than your bank, better than your traditional finance, like buying the stock, and after that from there buying S&P 500, they are giving you like maybe 12% or 15% maximum on your returns. But over here we can see like ridiculous amount, like almost up to 50%. How is it done? Basically it's done through on whatever content I have said, and after that from here the last segment of it, my thoughts about this. So over here, this is just a next step of basically finance. Basically Web2 itself, they take the money from depository, and after like from you deposit funds into your bank account, they take the money to loan it to someone, and after that add the interest rate on top of it, and when the person pays back, they give you a small percentage of the interest rate, and after that they keep the rest. So this is technically how it works. Similarly, the same concept over here is just being accessible for more people instead of only high ranking peoples on net worth up to like $1 million to basically join the hedge fund, to join the exclusive club for investment to make more money. And of course I would say decentralized finance itself is basically here to change the whole system, basically telling you that you only need like $10 to start with. You do not need a net worth of like $1 million. You do not need to submit your KYC and this and that. Basically over here this provides a lot of anonymity, and after that I would say there's also a lot of freedom for people to basically make money, have a chance to make money, instead of only hitting the X amount of net worth to basically join the hedge fund or whatsoever to basically get exclusive deal. But over here, this over here is very open to everyone, and of course there's a lot of back actors in the space itself. And of course for this centralized entity that are big enough, sometimes they feel that it is okay to basically invest in whatever they think is right because they have the knowledge and the team behind it. But to be honest, you never know what they're investing in, and after that, to be honest, if let's say they over collateralize, you also do not know technically how much they over collateralize, because it's not very super transparent, because they can't give you the full transparency on this type of stuff, because you can just do it on your own. So I would say the worst case over here right now, Celsius is facing a crisis, which they are pausing all the withdrawals, swap and transfer between accounts. But of course, rest assured, the other platform like Midas, Nexo, BlockFi, Hodernut, and of course Haru Invest, the ones that I'm personally experienced / using, I would say Celsius itself, I do not put much funds into it, only their Celsius token. For Nexo itself, also only the Nexo token. Hodernut itself, not really much, just a few thousand inside. On Haru Invest, where basically my big money is in, and of course on this BlockFi, not using it anymore because the rate sucks, and of course Midas is not added in. So for Midas itself, I also put in like around 10 Ethereum to play with it, and I would say that only put in the funds that you can afford to lose. And of course, especially during this bear market itself, I would say that uncertain things might happen, but of course the companies has already like assure you over and over again, doesn't mean it won't happen within the next moment. Because on Celsius itself, previously the CEO made an announcement telling people that, oh, we are still doing withdrawals, and after that there's bullshit that you can't withdraw whatever shit. But eventually after that tweet that is done, a few days later they locked down, and after that from there nobody can withdraw and everything. So I will say that these things can happen very quickly, so only put the amount that you think you can afford to lose. I mean, like, you will not think but confirm that you can lose. Even though you lose the amount, it won't really hurt you much, but of course you have to know that the percentage they are giving is quite tempting, and I believe that most of you guys would like put most of your funds into whatever platform itself. But of course, rest assured, I would say there's various type of platform for you guys, so I would say it is best to diversify. So if let's say Celsius is down, at least you still have some Midas investment, some Nexo, BlockFi, or Hodernut, or even Haru Invest that is all around. Basically put spread around your baskets, and after that, if let's say one goes down, you still have the rest to basically try to salvage it, instead of like losing everything on Celsius, for example. And after that, I would say I've come to the end of the video. If you like the video itself, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on post notification, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Bye bye, peace.